Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering why it's important to document your family story. You have an important family story to share, but where to begin? How to approach the story? What are the key points? I've been researching and telling family stories for 20 years now, and I'd love to share some important tips to help you on your way. By the end of this video, you'll learn the importance of preserving your family stories and the healing that you can receive from telling that story. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. The biggest reason why it's so important to preserve your family stories is because memories fade. Memories fade over time, but stories can last forever if you document them, if you preserve them. You want to keep these stories forever. Stories can be timeless if you document them. If you get those recordings, if you write them down, you can save these stories forever for future generations. You want these stories to long outlive you. One of the reasons why I love writing books is because I feel like the messages are going to outlive me or the people that I work with. You know, the fact that your message can live on, it just means so much to think that 100 years from now, somebody could read your book in whatever format people are reading books in those days and ages. They could pick up your book or read it digitally and learn from it. And it's empowering and so exciting to think that 100 years from now, somebody could pick up your book in whatever format people 100 years from now are reading books, and they could read your book and learn from it and take away lessons from it. Being able to document that story means so much. And it's just so special to be able to, to do that for yourself. Beyond that, your story and your family story and your ancestry story helps you explain who you are, where you came from, how you ended up in this place, in this moment. All those things contribute to the person you become. The challenges, the struggles, the tragedies, the triumphs, the ups and the downs, the historical context. All these things factor in. So it's really meaningful to think about how timelines, how perspectives, how stories shaped the world that you've inhabited and inherited. All these things, all these worldviews have been shaped by all these little experiences, some that happened decades and generations before you were born. So all these things come into place and come into focus and help us understand ourselves better. One of the other biggest reasons is to document these stories for future generations. You want future generations to be able to learn from these things, to read them, to review them, to understand them. You want these things to live on. You don't want them to die or fade away with specific people, but the stories to resonate and carry forward. I think there's so much power in remembering and reflecting. Documenting our family story helps us remember and reflect. Helps us to look back on things through a different perspective. We may easily judge people for the decisions they made in the moment, but the moment that we start reflecting and we start really thinking things through and putting things in context, now this makes more sense. Now I get it. When those things happen, it's easy to jump to conclusions, but being able to review things through a clear set of eyes allows us to appreciate things anew, to bring a different perspective. Perspective's important, and I think perspective's a really big part of this whole process. Documenting your family story can also help you heal. I've seen it with people I've worked with. I work as a book ghostwriter, and that means I help people tell their stories, including family stories. And some of the people I worked with have experienced true healing from what we've done together. Of being able to take ownership and control back of their story that they felt wasn't theirs anymore, that felt like it was out of control for them. It finally felt real. It finally felt like their story again, and they were able to embody this state of ownership of their story. They got their story back. What an awesome thing. You want ownership of your story. You want to be able to control that. And writing your family story and documenting it and finding closure and peace in it can help you take back ownership of your own story. I think too, it's so important to retain traditions and culture, family traditions. Over time, some of these things can get lost or homogenized or blended, and we lose little elements of the things that made our family unique, that the traditions that great grandma used to do aren't as popular now for the current generation. By remembering and reflecting and, capturing those stories, it allows you to retain some of those traditions and culture that otherwise might get lost, that you now remember. It forces you to remember these things. And I think being forced to remember is powerful. I think it's a great thing. I think it's great to be able to have it there for us, And this isn't just about recipes, but I think recipes is a good one. What does it mean to carry recipes forward from one generation to the next? And on and on and on, so you can always make this thing. I just think it's a really powerful thing, a powerful lesson, and something that we should all look forward to for ourselves. If you want to learn more about why it's important to document your family story, there's another video I recorded that I want you to check out. It's called How to Write a Family History Book. That video goes much deeper on the book writing process, the things that you need to keep in mind, where you can do specific family research, some of the great resources, and just the power of bringing a book forward. So if you're interested in that topic, definitely check out that video. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.